from an early age of about 15, I think me and some friends, we got some fake IDs and we're trying to get into clubs, and we just go specifically to sort of soak up the atmosphere like a sponge really, and see DJs like Jim Masters, Richie Houghton, Carl Cox. I was never any good at a lot of things at school. I didn't come away with any GCSEs or anything because I was always I'd be the kid at the back of the class with the headphones, like, you know, leaning on, listening to music rather than actually doing what you're supposed to be doing, but it's paid off. I had this old kind of Fisher-Price stereo thing, and even back from when I had that, I would be always recording stuff up to the radio, try and pause it before the radio presenter started speaking, and you'd make like mixtapes up and stuff, and everything sort of progressed from there. You know, then I got like my first Walkman. I used to have this amazing yellow Sony waterproof one that you could go underwater with it if you wanted to. I don't know why you'd ever do that, but you could. I do quite like to kind of pull influences from different genres and play around with stuff. I'm always one person to sort of get in the studio and never want to be sort of tied down and go, right, this track has to be a sort of banging techno track, or this track has to be a more of a proggy techno thing. For the new Drum Code EP, there's some new bits on there. There's a track on there called Up All Night, which is more of a kind of panorama, sexy, deep, dubby techno house thing without throwing too many genres in one sentence in there. People will know when they hear it, you know, it's kind of a slightly different way for me. There's a couple of ambient bits on the release as well. Prometheus, quite a big builder, more like if people were into sort of Face of Rejection and Gridlock and my stuff like that. You never really know what's going to kind of make the final cut and stuff, so each time I've usually finished one or two tracks, I'll send them to Adam initially for kind of playing purposes and to get his views on it and stuff, and then we'll kind of collectively be sort of batting around which ones we think will work on the EP and which ones we won't. Great to be able to have the option to do that really, because you've kind of got control over your EP, you know, as well as his point of view, so it's good. It's all I've ever been into. Like you can't walk into my mum and dad's house and the radio not be on and like someone not listening to some sort of music. And my dad was like is massive on Motown and soul and Otis Redding, Al Green, all that kind of vibe. And on my iPod, it's not unusual to find some cheesy 80s, because I'm a sucker for the 80s. If I'm not DJing, I'm probably listening to 80s music. From sort of being a clubber, you know, being someone on the dance floor, to then, you know, being the DJ and being the person responsible for the kind of soundtrack of the night, it's quite pressurised in a way, really. You know, when you think about it, you're going to make or break people's nights, essentially. You know, what you're going to play is what they're going to remember about the party. Being able to kind of take people on a musical journey, and you can't ask for anything more. You can't say, oh, tonight I'm going to go and play an iconic show. It happens, it just comes out, and that's the magic of music, really. So I've been working on music now for about 10 years. I think you're always learning different sort of techniques and different production styles. The way you put tracks together is certainly something that's sort of evolved since I started producing. That also comes with working with people in the studio as well. You kind of pick up on maybe better ways to do things, different ways to do things, and kind of adapt it into your own production style. And I don't think there's any shortcuts with production. You really need to sort of do it one step at a time, you know. Working on your drum patterns and stuff. If they're not good enough, if they're not ready, then, you know, don't move on and start trying to incorporate other stuff. You need to kind of do it all block by block. That's how I did it anyway. Everyone works in different ways. Everyone's got different ways of categorising the arrangement, different ways of putting things together. So it's always good to kind of hear the differences in the track, that you can tell it's come from this person or come from that person, because I think, yeah, we all write very differently. I'm personally not very good at writing music on the fly. I can't write in a hotel in my headphones, or I can't write music on a plane. I can, I'm not incapable, I just don't. Because most of the time if I do that, it ends up being something that you delete the next day when you listen to it. I prefer to be in my own studio environment really, and that's where all my sort of creative juices flow from. I usually like to go in and have some sort of basis of where I want the outcome to be, and if it changes in amongst that, then that's cool, but you know, that's the way I like to work really. For the future, production wise, I'm definitely going to be doing some new collaborations, one with Gary Beck, hopefully one with Joseph Capriati. Hopefully going to get back in with Adam to do a follow-up to Human Reason, which was amazing to work with Adam in the studio. We both had a really good time, so you know, we do plan to hopefully get back in and do some more at some point. And I'd really like to start work on a new album in the next sort of 18 months, definitely. It's just the ideal kind of creative process, I think, for a producer to kind of work on an album that kind of all blends together well. Aside from that, I've never actually done a mix compilation, so it'd be cool to do one of those really, and to put my own sort of twist on a compilation. What a job to have, you know, you're entertaining people and you're getting to play music, and you know, I couldn't think of any sort of better profession to go into. It's being a music lover, a lifelong music lover, it just seemed the perfect job for me, and I'm, you know, just glad that I get to do it every week, live and breathe in it.